Good afternoon and welcome. Guess I don't need to be that close. Thank you all for coming. My name is Mary Nault, and I'm a graduate of the Sanford Community PLTI. The Parent Leadership Training Institute, a family civics leadership initiative, started 22 years ago in Connecticut, and it's moving nationwide. My PLTI experience happened because my son Jeremiah asked me one day in the autumn of 2012, "Hey Mom, have you ever heard of PLTI? It's really worth taking a look at." I didn't even know he was a member of the civic design team, which is a very important part of it. It's often by a thin thread that something important can happen really big in your life and make a huge change. It really has enhanced my life. It's impacted myself personally in ways of leadership, getting out of my comfort zone, more interest and involvement in my community. It has impacted my family because just my enthusiasm about all of these things now. I think we get maybe stuck in what we're doing, and PLTI brings us out of that small box that some of us often live in until something exciting comes along and says, "Hey, how about taking a look at something new and different?" I'm so glad that I did. I know PLTI has impacted my community because each of us as graduates do a community project. Mine was the Sanford High School Career Fair just last month. 26 businesses came to the career fair, showed what they had, and taught and shared with all of the students from Sanford High School that came. It was really awesome and amazing. Well, I am very honored and pleased to introduce our guests from the National Parent Leadership Institute, Patti Keckeisen and Elaine Zimmerman. Elaine and Patti, welcome. It's so great to have you here in Sanford. We've had an opportunity to spend time at the facilitator training, and getting to know awesome and amazing people that really make a difference and are incredibly humble in what they do has really impressed me. Patti is the program implementer for the national expansion of PLTI. She works with leaders across small towns, states, and the sovereign nation to embed family civics leadership. Patti's business background is in the consumer products and pharmaceutical industries, in systems and data analysis. After she trained as a parent in PLTI, she left her work in business to lead the PLTI of Danbury, Connecticut, and become a state and national trainer. Elaine Zimmerman is the executive director of the Connecticut Commissions on Children, where she reviews children's policy and reports to executive, legislative, and judicial branches of state government with recommendations for children's legislation. Ms. Zimmerman created the Parent Leadership Training Institute, PLTI as we call it, to offer parents the capacity to lead for children. Testing whether changes for children is understood and whether these understandings can be taught to families, she created a democracy initiative focused on family civics. This school is now in 14 cities and towns in Connecticut. Elaine Zimmerman also directs the National Parent Leadership Institute, the national Republican arm of the Connecticut Commission on Children, where PLTI has moved nationally to Virginia, Rhode Island, Florida, New York, New Orleans, Michigan, California, Wyoming, and the Wind River Indian Reservation, Colorado, and now Sanford, Maine. Elaine Zimmerman has been a leader in states changing how parents participate and lead for children. She has systematically studied and designed family civics curriculum and leadership process to bring parents back as an intentional constituency across cultures for children. Children are our future. I would like to welcome Elaine and Patti, thank you so much for being here. We're honored to have you.
Well, it's a privilege to be here, and we are here today really to honor Sanford, because you are the first city, the first town in Maine to take this model and to use a research-based model to assure that parents are a voice for children and to improve children's outcomes. What we know is that engaged parents improve children's learning, improve whether children graduate from high school, whether they go on to college, improve overall teacher morale when parents are engaged in the classroom and partner with schools. But it doesn't just end and begin at the schoolhouse. We also know that parent engagement dramatically improves community safety and also statistically reduces health costs. So the family engaged has a significant impact on child outcomes and overall on community. We started this over 25 years ago to test why parents were missing from policy decisions, why in virtually every other field the customer is part of the discussion on whether or not Rice Krispies is a good cereal, but somehow when children are the product, parents are missing. And so is there a way to bring parents to the table and offer that special eye and that special heart to improve outcomes for children and to overall improve community? We also really wanted to bring democracy back in the deepest way for civic discourse and to make sure that the family was a constituency, a voice that was heard and honored across views. Before there was a reference Republican, but the word really was replication. Because what's so wonderful about the Parent Leadership Training Institute is that it's for parents of every ideology, every interest. There's no single policy agenda. In fact, what we love about this is that parents come with such diverse views, but they are so passionate. We are so passionate about our children that we are really willing to come together across every imaginable difference to work together to improve things for children. The Parent Leadership Training Institute helps parents become the leaders they would like to be for their children and other children. What we've learned is that sometimes people complain and say that parents are missing, parents don't care, parents are lazy. But what we've learned across the whole country is that the civic skills are missing, and when parents acquire the skills of leadership, they immediately partner. When parents have a sense of belonging in community and understand their importance, not only do parents partner and improve program and policy and work together, but they also shed anything that is deleterious to themselves or their children. So when parents take this, they end up moving whatever the next staircase is educationally. So if a parent takes this and didn't finish high school, statistically, we are seeing that the parent finishes high school, or they finish community college, or they finish four-year college, or they get a master's. Whatever the next dream is, as soon as you understand where you belong in civic society and that you make a difference, you shed the weight on your back and you move up the next crystal staircase, whatever it is. And that's what we're seeing all over the country. People say that parents don't want to be engaged, but we're finding that as soon as parents have opportunity to learn how to lead for children, there's a waiting list. Parents don't leave a leadership program for children, they actually want more. And we have parents now all over the country who are saying, what's the next thing, what can we next learn, and improving whatever they can. What are the values of this? Community matters. Relationships are basic to change. Parents lead children, not agency. Parents are the primary leaders for their children, though agencies are key. It's parents who know their children the best. Intergenerational environments make a profound difference in spirit and natural mentorship for children. Fathers and mothers are necessary for change and for good child outcomes, not just mothers. And parents are the consumers and customers for all of child development and good outcomes, and they need to be at the table. So we've built a 20-week curriculum based on this, because we know that when parents learn the change skills, they can influence quality, they can influence equity. Parents who've taken this course in Sanford now know what policy is, how to speak publicly, they understand how to ask questions, they understand what data is and how to get the data, they understand how to figure out if a program or policy is working in Sanford, in the region. They know and are the key customers for spreading word about opportunities, about goals, for sharing information on parenting with other parents. There is no better social network for parents than parents. The way the country works is agency helps parent, helps child. There's not a horizontal strategy. The remarkable response, you almost want to go, duh, is that when you create a horizontal environment where parents are working with each other as a shared community, the incremental effects and the impact on the social network is tripled so fast, you're not even ready for it. And so we're building a horizontal network across the country, and we are here to really honor Sanford for being the first in Maine and for having the wisdom to create a partnership with the schools and with strategies for a stronger Sanford, which has such a commitment to good child and youth outcomes and to strategic partnerships and best innovations that will have capacity building outcomes. And so it is that partnership between the schoolhouse and strategies that creates a robust marriage that is inevitably going to create good outcomes for parent leadership in Sanford. I want to share some of the outcome data in Sanford and to tell you that the data in Sanford surpasses the national data. It is so strong here. You have done so beautifully, and I trust that that will continue. But you went with the parents in your cohort, in your first cohort, from knowing how state government budgets are made, zero new, zero, to 100% new. You went from 20% understanding how state laws are made to 100% knowing how state laws are made. 40% knew who their local representative was, now 100% know. 50% knew who your state rep was, now 90%. In skills and activities, you had fewer than 2.4, which equals I don't know and never. You had I don't know and never in the skill of consensus building, working together, working collaboratively. And now your data reveal weekly use of that skill. Well, as a leader, understanding how to build consensus is the most important skill. As a leader, to honor difference and to help people get to a shared goal, you went from never to weekly. In civic literacy, you began with some of the time parents knowing what to do when a problem arises in a community to most of the time. You went from none, a little bit between none and some of understanding how public policy affects my community to most of the time. Understanding how service systems work in Sanford, you went from none to most. So the skill set, it goes on and on. The outcome data is really stunning. Spoke or made a presentation at a town council meeting, your Sanford parents who went through the program, 10%. After the 20 weeks, 50%. So one, I want to just really congratulate you for that. and to honor and recognize everybody with a beautiful flower on, because those with the beautiful flowers on are either parent graduates, facilitators, or members of the Sanford Civic Design Team, because the structure of this democracy initiative includes not just parents wanting to learn civic skills so they can help improve child outcomes, but also the community creating a civic infrastructure so that the family has a voice. So I'd like to ask all of you who have a flower on to rise just for a second so we can applaud you and your participation in this. And it is my great honor this afternoon to recognize Matt Westerlund from the Strategies for a Stronger Sanford, who is the Strategies Board Chair and a PLTI grad. And I'd like to recognize Mr. Jonathan Mapes, who's the Vice Chair of the School Committee. And we are recognizing you this afternoon in a partnership. And I'm going to steal this from one of you. Just for a moment, and I'm not going to read all of it, but just a teeny bit. The National Parent Leadership Institute recognizes the Sanford School Department and Strategies for a Stronger Sanford, whereas Sanford is the first city in Maine to implement this Family Civics initiative, whereas Family Civics is not a single action by a single agency, but a framework to assure parent voice as a critical constituency for children. Whereas parents become community assets when they acquire leadership tools. Whereas parents are children's most important teachers. Whereas informed families bolster public information and accountability. The NPLI recognizes the Sanford School Department and Strategies for a Stronger Sanford and honors you for bringing this to the first city in Maine. Here you go. I'll do whatever you tell me. So we would like to honor you, recognize you, and I would gladly take any questions from the press, if there are any. Okay, well, Patti, would you like to come say something? Patti Keckeisen, who's the National Program Implementer and the Technical Assistant for Sanford.
Thank you, Elaine. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you today. This is a celebration. This celebrates families. This celebrates the civic leadership of families. This is about civics and democracy. And so to have you here today to honor the co-leaders of the two different groups that bring PLTI to Sanford, we hope that this endures. This is not something that is a program that starts and ends. This is a strategy. And we look forward to working together over the years to implement this and to see families as equal partners in decision-making in all different aspects of community life. And so thank you so much for being here. I look forward to working with all of you in the future. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's what happens when you step into that leadership role. Surprises! Oh, you're so awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. This really means a lot to all of us as from the Nation team, from facilitators and graduates, the CDT team. I really hope that you will just do as I did and take a look at what PLTI could be for you in your life. I had no idea what it was all about, but come this evening over to the town club, hear what Elaine and Patti have to say, talk to all of us, please do. Everyone is just full of excitement and wanting to share. And I see Sanford going in directions that can be very exciting. There's something new and great all the time. So don't be afraid to just step out of that box of the comfort zone and talk to anybody that's here. Check it out and see it could possibly be something for you. And I've found for myself personally that when I take my eyes off of myself and look to help someone else, that's when great and wonderful things can happen. Because I truly personally believe that we are just meant to be good advocators for other people and make a difference in lives. And that's what we can do with PLTI. So thank you so much for coming.